It's Tuesday, April 8th, and welcome back to Damon Bruce Plus, brought to you by Ike Sandwiches and our good friends at the Dubliner West Portal. It is really good to have you here. Thanks so much for coming on by. You want to go ahead and hit like and subscribe. I sure would appreciate that along the way. So, all right, here we go. We have ourselves an NFL draft that's coming on up, and everybody's got their, not just their first mock draft, their fifth mock draft up there. I've changed my mind. I've rethought the entire draft. Mock draft is up right now. And there's just one thing that seems to be sort of being spoken into existence here with the 49ers and their upcoming draft that it just doesn't compute with me. So Mel Kiper has the 49ers taking Michigan cornerback Will Johnson, number one, well, at 11, with their first round pick. Okay, like Will Johnson is everything you'd want in a physical cornerback. He might be the best cornerback in this draft. There's another kid out there. His name is Jahdae Barron out of Texas, who, at 11, he's probably not going to go too further past that. Like there are two clear-cut first-round cornerbacks in this draft. And if you get one, that's good. Like, cornerbacks are good. I'm not here to be anti-cornerback in any way, shape, or form. I just think that is a position of actual depth that the team already has kind of addressed, and they have situations that have not been addressed at all that I think need a little bit more thinking about, especially at number 11 overall. Pete Prisco has a brand new mock draft out today, and he had the 49ers selecting a cornerback in his first round in his first mock draft, but he has rethought the entire process and has come back around to Georgia linebacker Jalen Walker. Now, if the 49ers select Jalen Walker after they have lost, Dre Greenlaw, I'm good with it. I'm good with that draft pick. I don't think it's necessarily what they need the most, but okay, if that happens. I'm not going to go running, to the internet to say anyone screwed anything up. Another mock draft has Alabama linebacker Giad Campbell to the 49ers at number 11. Again, I don't know, but okay, I would get it. To me, number 11, I've said the name a million times. It's Armand Membu. If he is there, you run that name to the podium faster than you've run anywhere in your life, John Lynch. Membu, to me, is the answer to a lot of the offensive line questions that this team has right now and will have in the future. I like him an awful lot. If Campbell is there from LSU, I like him an awful lot too. I think defensive tackle, defensive end, there are 4 or 5 different names there that if the Niners call out that name at 11, okay, all right. Maybe could have traded back a little and gotten that guy, but I'm not going to complain because I just think line of scrimmage is the place that the 49ers need to be looking first. For the Niners to really think cornerback at 11, I will have wanted one thing to have happened. I will have wanted Robert Saleh to walk into Kyle Shanahan, John Lynch's, the collective front office and say, I need a premier corner ahead of anything else and above everyone else. Because that's just, I need that for my defense. I can't play defense without it. Now, I would immediately turn around and be like, well, Bobby, Robert, Bobby, have you seen your defensive line? Have you seen your total lack of depth across your defensive line? Have you seen that you are a Trent Williams injury away from having massive offensive line problems? Just massive problems. Nick Bosa is hurt. You have a massive problem before that happens. Should that happen, now you've got maybe like an event you will not recover from. Defensive line, offensive line depth, I think, is where this whole thing needs to start. And that's why I labeled this thumbnail secondary guessing. Like, I can wrap my mind around your wanting another premier corner. And I'll tell you right now, Will Johnson out of Michigan is the kid that you would invent to be a cornerback, and just in terms of body type, in terms of size, in terms of what he looks like. He looks like an absolute monster. He's 6'2", 194, legit. Now, he might have the NFL body, but the single best cornerback in college last year was probably Jahdae Barron out of Texas, who is just a ball-hawking, intercepting, pain in the ass. The only thing that Will Johnson has over him is Will Johnson's 6'2", and this other guy's 5'11", which is still good size for an NFL corner. They're both 194 pounds, but one is a huge corner, and we know the Niners like big-bodied corners. The other guy has got incredible ball skills. Either one of those guys in a 49er uniform absolutely makes their secondary better, absolutely gives them more to play with, especially at the position of nickel cornerback, which is now a starting corner. It really is. You don't just have two starting corners. You kind of have three. But I also think this team is going to be in a position to ask their safeties to help out a little bit at nickel. And also, as I'm just looking around the room and saying, okay, who is here? Like, go ahead and look around that defensive line room and say, who's here? Not a lot of guys raise their hand and say, here. And the guys that do are like Kalia Davis and Robert Beal, and those guys are fine, but they're not really NFL starters. And good luck if you're going to have, Jordan Elliott and Anderson as your starting defensive tackles this year. You just got to do better than that. And when I look at the corner room, I see Renardo Green, who has an awesome rookie year last year. I see Diamador Lenore, who I think is about to be a captain on this football team. He is so good. I see you got two really good starting young cornerbacks. You've added Saran Neal and Trey Avery and Lucas Chase and Trey Brown. You got Darrell Luter Jr., and those guys might not have a reputation, but they're guys. Like, there's actual, like, here you go. If you want to talk about cornerback depth, I see 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I see 7 human beings. You don't have 7 human beings playing across your defensive line yet. I understand why the 49ers might want to look secondary, and I do think in this draft they will be adding secondary. But I just can't see it as a day 1 or 2 pick based on what you need and what you have. Now, if you tell me they get to 11, and as far as they are concerned, the 11th best overall player in this draft is, the kid from Michigan, Will Johnson. Okay, then if you have that much conviction about him, go ahead, because you need to replace Javarius Ward. I get it. But man, I just think, what do you remember about that Super Bowl? What do you remember about the last Super Bowl? All I remember are 2 words: trench warfare. The best cornerback in football history does not help you in trench warfare. Trench warfare can make a pretty good corner look like a great corner if the trench warfare goes in your direction in the right way. So, man, I'm just telling you right now, corner at 11, that feels like a big reach to me. If we're talking about, it's a bad idea to draft for need, you got to draft talent. If you say the most talented guy on the board right here, right now is a corner, okay, but you have so much bigger needs. And I really don't think that you can make an argument that, if Kenneth Grant, a defensive lineman, were on the board, has less talent than either of these corners at his position because another defensive tackle might have been picked before him. I'm going line of scrimmage, man. I am going line of scrimmage, first round and second round. Whatever I don't do, I'm doing it on the other side in the second pick. Offensive, then defensive, or defensive, then offensive. I think the Niners got to be looking that way. I really do. So, I'm an Armand Membu guy. Through and through and through. I've been trying to talk myself out of him. I've been trying to read every negative Armand Membu review and thing that I can find to maybe open up my mind a little more. Damon, don't be so stubborn. There's got to be somebody else you would like at 11. And yes, there are plenty of guys that I would like at 11, but none more than Membu. My ultimate fear is that he's off the board for you 49ers fans, because the Bears are going to take him 10th overall. But I really think that with what the Bears have done in free agency across their offensive line, they're not looking offensive line at 10. I'd be surprised. I really would. Although, if they are, and given who their new coach is, and given how Detroit has basically been a turnaround success story because of their dominating offensive line, that just lets you know you got to have one of these offensive lines, and you just can't keep moneyballing your way through a decent offensive line. That cannot happen if you're the San Francisco 49ers. You cannot be looking for great value in Ben Barch at starting left tackle. Now, if he gives you that and you've run into that, fantastic. Congratulations. You found your pot of gold at the end of the offensive lineman rainbow, but don't count on it. Don't count on that. Again, one Trent Taylor injury away from everyone being in an awful lot of trouble. Because remember, Jalen Moore's gone. The guy who stepped in for Trent Taylor last year, and you didn't even really notice that the silverback gorilla was gone. That option's not on the board for the 49ers this year. As always, we break for supers. Thank you so much to, what is it? Silent? Is that what you're doing there? Silent? With visits as clue, we're going D-line at 11. I would think so too. But again, I'm just looking at look at it this way. Everybody who is a prominent national figure who puts out a mock draft doesn't want to be wrong, right? They're trying to get it right. And I'm not seeing nearly enough defensive line or offensive line come across all the mock drafts that I'm seeing, with a lot of linebackers and corners now basically leading the way in mock drafts for the 49ers and what they might do at 11. I'll say this, and I don't think that we can highlight this enough, because there's more truth to what I'm about to say. And by the way, Silent, whatever that your name is, thank you very much for the super. Cheers. Silent Night. Maybe that's what's going on. Okay, I get it. I get it. There isn't a player that is about to be drafted at any round, at any selection, to any team, that is more important to next season than Christian McCaffrey's about to be to the 49ers. And if that scares you a little, it should. That's fine. If that scares you a little, all that means is that you're paying attention. And all that means is you're probably as unhappy with the J.P. Mason trade as I was, because I really thought that Jordan Mason was a guy who needed to stick around. You know, do I like Garendo? Yeah, I do. I thought I liked Jordan Mason a little bit more. But Christian McCaffrey has to be, once again, the 49ers pound-for-pound best offensive player. There's really no wiggle room around that for them in any sort of playoff scenario, is there? There isn't. As far as I'm concerned, he needs to be their best pound-for-pound player. He has got to be the key that reopens their running game, because of who he is and what he does and who is no longer here. There's an argument to be made that right now he's their best pass catcher, with all due respect to George Kittle. The 49ers' two best wide receivers could be their tight end and their running back. He is, without a doubt, the best shot at recapturing some red zone production that the 49ers have. And he is, without a doubt, the best shot to returning to the postseason. So as we talk about all these new ads and Robert Saleh being back in the room and all the free agency that left people upset and not enough and all this blah, 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 I am telling you, Christian McCaffrey needs to report for duty in such an overwhelming manner that at no point in time in this upcoming season are we using the phrase bilateral Achilles tendonitis. So is that in the cards? Is that about to happen? I keep on looking for Christian McCaffrey updates and what we hear. And I'll say this, Christian McCaffrey's off-season workout habits are second to none. He has never had an ounce of fat on him. That guy has never taken a single rep off in ATOs or in training camp or anywhere. No cheat meals for Christian McCaffrey. Like, I believe in that guy to be rehabbing himself harder than anybody. But everything that he's doing has to stick. It has to work, because without him, oh, man, the Niners are just in a world of trouble. With him, they could be in a world of trouble. Without him, it's a galaxy. It really is. Anyways, cheers. Sip of the day officially right there. I mean, that was freaking perfect, if you don't mind me saying. Absolutely perfect. And speaking of perfect, I want you to have a perfect lunch today. I really do. That means I want you to get to Ike's. And if there isn't an Ike's around you, boy, I hope that changes soon. Either you're around an Ike's or an Ike's moves to your city. And look, the way that my man is growing his chain of restaurants and sandwich shops, it's going to happen. There will be an Ike's near you soon enough, no matter where you're watching me. I would truly hope. There's one now in Hawaii, for goodness sakes. He's as far west as Hawaii and as far east as New Orleans now. So it is happening. It is happening. Nationwide expansion. And I'm just telling you, it's an absolutely unbelievable sandwich. And it is the sandwich of your dreams, because he's got 1,000 different sandwiches for you. No matter what you might want on it, he's got things that you never even thought of putting on a sandwich. I would just say, don't mess around. Start with an absolute winner right there. You're watching Damon Bruce here on YouTube. Why not eat Damon Bruce at lunch today? All I am is steak sauce, steak, obviously, on that steak sauce, beer battered onion rings, a little provolone cheese. I don't include any tomatoes on my sandwich. Give me some lettuce, give me some onions, give me a little Godfather sauce. I like mine on the French bread, not the Dutch crunch. But if you're a Dutch crunch person, boy, does Ike's have the sandwich spot for you. He basically breathed life back into the Dutch crunch industry. Big Dutch Crunch owes Ike a debt of gratitude. And so do I, for being our primary sponsor. So next time you're thinking about ordering lunch, get yourself Ike's. And if you are ordering lunch for possibly your entire office, join that Ike's Love Rewards program. Look at Ike's Catering. Make everybody in your office incredibly happy by having a case of Ike's sent up to the office. And then make everybody at the office happy by hopping on Muni and heading to the Dubliner West Portal. My man Kenny's there all day on Friday. I'm going to pop on in and say hi to Kenny on Friday. It's been a while since I've seen him. I got a T-shirt for Kenny. I got a little invitation for Kenny, and we got to start planning like future Plus Manias. I love the guys at the Dubliner West Portal. My kind of folks. They're your kind of folks. And the fact that we're hanging out right now means we're folks. And I just know that it's all the same kind of folks. Dubliner West Portal, the best Guinness pull in San Francisco. Little J-Mo on the shot back. You can't do wrong by any of that. So thank you so much to my sponsors. Thank you so much to all of you for the super chats. Oh, we got another one. This is from Silent Night. Love CMC, but too much eggs in one brittle basket. Little scary, isn't it? Little scary. He better be the real deal. And all of your eggs are in that basket. And there is no time to get new eggs or a new basket. That is the direction you're pointed in. Unless the Niners shock the world and it's, Ashton Genty at 11. By the way, the Nuggets fire head coach? What? No. Oh, what? Nuggets have fired Michael Malone. Oh, my God. SF Indigo, member for 14 months. Thanks for being a member, brother. Holy shit. And they got rid of their GM? Did they just catch these guys in bed with a married woman or a dead child? Hold on, I just got to read the story right here. The Denver Nuggets have fired coach Michael Malone and general manager Calvin Booth. Daniel Adams, the Nuggets lead assistant, will serve as the team's interim head coach for the remainder of the season. Malone led the Nuggets to an NBA championship just 2 seasons ago. They're one of the best teams in football. This is a stunning move, to say the least. There's a 4-game losing streak right now. They're currently 4th place in the Western Conference standings. This decision was not made lightly, is the quote here. No, duh. It'll be evaluated very carefully, and we'll do it only with the intention of giving our group the very best chance of competing for the 2005 NBA championship and delivering another title to Denver everywhere. Josh Kroenke. Dude, you cannot fire your coach and say, yeah, we're closer to a championship. The coach and the GM isn't a little bit too late in the year to do any of that? This has to be the latest. This has to be one of the latest coach firings in NBA history, besides the one that was made last week by the Memphis Grizzlies. You know, I can see how the Memphis Grizzlies, though, are such a collection of immature issues and troublemakers that, all right, that's what you decided to do. But this is insane. Wow. Okay. How about that? Mike Malone out for the Denver Nuggets. That's huge. I was just about to get to the Warriors anyways. I wanted to thank my sponsors, Ike's and the Dubliner. Wanted to thank you for your supers, and freaking Indigo drops a bomb on me over here. Like, this is more than we've lost 4 in a row here. There's got to be more to it. There's got to be more to it. You don't get to game number 78 in an NBA season and then say, well, today's the day we're going to string up the head coach and the general manager because we don't like the roster construction. Like that, we don't know everything yet, right? I mean, that's the only thing that I can think of. We don't know everything yet. Something else is going to come forward here, right? That's unbelievable. Like I said, everybody's got about 4 games left. The freaking Golden State Warriors, they've got their final 4 beginning tonight. They're in Phoenix tonight, Wednesday at the Spurs tomorrow. And oh, by the way, I'm going to be going to that game. I'm going to the Spurs game tomorrow night, and maybe we'll check in and do a little live streaming post game from Chase Center. Why not? What else I'm doing? I got a get out of jail free card from Jillian. So if I watch the entire game, stick around for about an hour, maybe I can meet Bonte and go grab a drink with him after the show or something. Anyways, I'm already planning my next cocktail. It's so like me. Spurs at home tomorrow, Friday at Portland, and then Sunday, the Clippers. And that's it, folks. That is your NBA regular season. Warriors just dumped a bad one at home to the Houston Rockets. Just get right, win these next 4, get to 50 wins, and take your chances. Look at it this way. That Warriors win over the Denver Nuggets came during this 4-game losing streak, which got Mike Malone fired. Holy shit. Man. That's a stunner. I mean, really, there's not a lot of news in sports that I see it like I'm actually like, oh wow, that's an oh wow, because I've always liked Mike Malone the dude. I've always liked Mike Malone the attitude. I've always liked Mike Malone this is the way I coach. I ain't here for bullshit. I'm a no nonsense kind of guy. Like I like that about him. Oh, he must be pissed. He must be pissed. I got to tell you, when it comes to basketball right now, I'm not pissed, but I am a little sad. I put it on today just because I know I'm as far away from the next college basketball game as I can possibly get. Because last night was the national championship. It's good to be a Florida Gator, apparently. Congratulations to former USF Dons right up on the hilltop, Coach Todd Golden, who is a national champion. As you know, I like Kelvin Sampson. Letting Kelvin Sampson go was one of the biggest mistakes in Indiana University history. Houston was unable to execute in the last handful of minutes there in a way that was just awful. Their final possession where a player in the middle of a shot lost control of the ball and then couldn't touch it because it would have been a double dribble, and that's how the game ends, a one-possession game. You don't even get a shot off in the national championship. Oh, that's brutal. So Kelvin Sampson was a great story right up until that end. He got, he designed such a great inbounds play to be undone by a team that just forgot how to not turn the ball over in the final handful of possessions of a national championship game. That's very, very frustrating. Florida comes roaring back. Or no, I mean, Houston came roaring back, but then Florida, it was all done. It was a really good ending to the NCAA tournament. The entire tournament, I can't give you better than a B-. The opening round was a C-. The middle round was a B+, the round of Sweet 16. The Final Four, I'm going to give the Final Four a straight A. Straight A. Put it all together, it was like a B-, C+ NCAA tournament. How about this? When we sit down to talk about the great NCAA tournaments we've ever seen, we'll leave this one out of it. There's no such thing as a bad NCAA tournament. There are just some that are much better than others. Let me just say this, too. As I'm looking at the evolving college landscape, this isn't just college basketball, but it's college football as well. Dude, players getting paid, I don't have a problem with it at all. The amount of money that they're bringing in for these universities, them being broken off a chunk of it, I'm fine with it. It's about time. It really is. But the open, unfettered movement that comes with the transfer portal, that has to be reeled in. This is becoming ridiculous. I saw somebody on Twitter actually write this, and this is just a fan who brought this up, and he's totally right. He said, college hoops has basically turned into European hoops. There are now new coaches every few years. They're reconstructing entire rosters each year with only 2 to 4 people remaining. There are high expectations to win nonetheless. Players are looking for big money at every turn, no matter the situation. This is literally every basketball season in Europe. What made college sports special, part of it, was the relationships that you had with players from their freshman to their senior year. One of the reasons why, even though he is, not who you want him to be right now as a Golden State Warrior, one of the reasons why I am always willing to lay down in traffic for Trace Jackson Davis is because I watched his first game at Indiana, and then 4 years later, I watched his last game at Indiana, and I watched this young man grow into manhood, into basketball, into a bigger man's body, into a National Player of the Year candidate, into one of the great Indiana players of all time. Like, I got to watch it all and enjoy the ride, and you really get to know people along the way. And that's like never going to happen again. And it will devalue the sport in some way. Now, it seems like the only value anyone is able to measure is monetary value these days, like the ability to see intrinsic value. It's like everybody's blind to intrinsic value now. Learning how to work through adversity has intrinsic value. It will make you more of an adult when you get to adulthood, if you know how to get through problem days now. The ability to pull the eject button and hit the transfer portal any single time a new exciting opportunity presents itself or a better opportunity presents itself, it's wrong. It's wrong. You should have to sit through some growing pains as you're growing. Now, if you're in a bad situation and you want to improve it, you should be able to do that too. You shouldn't be an indentured servant as you're a college athlete. But I think you shouldn't be able to transfer more than twice, right? You can transfer once, then you can transfer another time. Now we got guys transferring. There are guys who are literally mapping out a 6-year-long college career on 6 different campuses. They're professional, collegiate, barnstorming student athletes right now. So it's good to be a Florida Gator. It's good to have an awful lot of money. You're going to be able to assemble a really good team. But even teams that have an awful lot of money can't even keep the players around these days. Like sports is also about relationships. And it'll be harder and harder to craft a relationship with an athlete who isn't Shohei Ohtani, who signed a decade-long contract for $1 billion somewhere. It's going to be hard. You know, the Steph Currys will be further and farther between as we keep going here through life together. So I do love me some NBA basketball. The playoffs are on the horizon. College basketball, I'm going to miss you an awful lot. Luckily for me, Indiana is now a football school. Go Hoosiers. I want to talk about 3 different things the San Francisco Giants actually have going for them right now. Yesterday's game, clearly not one of them. 2-0 shutout at home by the Reds. That snapped a 7-game winning streak. This would have been a much better segment on yesterday's live stream, but here we are. But this team does have some things that are still really going for it. And there's so many baseball games that it isn't whether you're winning or losing, it's how you're playing. What I like most about the Giants, there are 3 things that I like most about the Giants. Number 1, right now, this team's got a 2.77 ERA. That's the 3rd best in all of baseball. That is the team ERA. They got pitching, and there's no such thing as a Giants season that went anywhere without overwhelming pitching. They've had it in all of their successful years. They've missed it in all of their struggle years, and it looks like they might have it again this year. Now, the nice thing, the reason why it might not be just a summer of straight-up torture, which is also a brand of Giants baseball where your pitching is A+, but then scoring runs is like pulling teeth. The second thing that I like most about the Giants right now is they don't have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. They got 6 guys with on-base plus slugging percentages, all better than .850 right now. Now, it's obviously small sample size, still very, very early in the year. But you could go back to very early in the years recent, and you don't have this much production and the ability to get on base and stay alive and not make outs that we're seeing. Matos, Yastrzemski, Jung-Hoo Lee, Chapman, Flores, and Ramos all have OPSs better than .850. That's a nice offensive start to the year. That is a level of we're barreling shit up, we're making good contact, and we're not chasing bad pitches, and we got some decent eyes screwed into our heads, and we're not giving easy outs over to the other team 5, 6, 7, 8 times a game. That's good. The third thing that I like is what's coming out of this bullpen. Now, I still believe in Camilo Doval, and Camilo Doval is a little bit of an experiment and maybe a little bit of a head case. We'll find out. But I really like Camilo Doval's arm talent. And I also like Randy Rodriguez and Ryan Walker. Like, okay, Randy Rodriguez and Ryan Walker. Like, okay. Like, the Giants, technically, I mean, if those guys keep going the way that they're going, the Giants could be playing 7-inning games with, a triumvirate of Ryan Walker, Randy Rodriguez, and Camilo Doval just waiting for you in the back of games. Like, if those 3 guys can handle the last 2 innings all year long, Giants are playing 7-inning games, that'd be huge. It's a good start for the Giants. It's a good first impression from the Giants. The vibes seem right on the Giants. And there are some things to like. However, what I'm about to show you is not one of them. Have you seen the City Connect jerseys? Looks like they're making their way across the internet today for the very first time. There had been rumors that these were they. And I saw them and I thought, oh, I hope not. I hope that's some like Nike leak and that it won't be that. It'll be better than that. It wasn't. Here are the City Connect jerseys. Now, the orange-ish isn't bad. The gradient in the orange-ish isn't the worst. I don't really like them. And I certainly don't like that they're just bringing back the like City Connect creamsicle University of Tennessee Fighting Illini orange creamsicle pants with these jerseys. But what I really hate is that font. The font, let me put it here. Let me show you another picture. The font, basically, it looks like the kind of graffiti that when you see it on a BART train, they clean that BART train within 48 hours. Like, I see what you're going for, but I think you've missed it. Like, that's not even cool graffiti. That's white people graffiti. The Giants have a collection of throwback jerseys and uniforms that are so outstanding. The fact that they keep trying to make these City Connect things evolve and then invoke some sort of relationship with San Francisco is ridiculous. I want to bring you back to the little City Connect map. They call it the headliner. San Francisco's signature, but remixed and framed in our gradient accent. Again, I'm not going to argue about gradients, but I hate that SF font. I do not like it. The purple is there because the New York Giants wore violet uniforms from 1913 to 1917 as a tribute to NYU. What city are you trying to connect with? Why are the San Francisco Giants City Connect jerseys a tribute to New York City? I don't get that. Are the Dodgers City Connect jerseys a tribute to Brooklyn? Are the are the Athletic, it wouldn't be funny if the A's City Connect jerseys were a tribute to Oakland. But, are the Atlanta Braves City Connect jerseys a tribute to Boston or Milwaukee, where they were before they were Atlanta? I mean, I just don't get it. So what are you paying tribute to? Now, there are sound waves in the jerseys. Ooh, now the glove patch on the sleeve there, that could have been a pretty cool, funky words in a hippie font around a baseball and kind of a map of San Francisco's neighborhoods and kind of a map of a glove. Like that arm patch as a standalone t-shirt, pretty cool. If you just put that patch on a Giants jersey, that would be really good too, a normal Giants jersey, but it is this font in the front. It's like, what are you doing? By the way, get that Nike swoosh off the front of these Major League uniforms. It's awful. Say, Damon, these are not for you. You're just an old man shaking your fist at the clouds. Oh, no, we haven't even reached the old man shaking his fist at clouds portion of the show yet. But we're about to get there because there's one more thing I want to show you before we get to today in history. And this is why now at the age of 50, I am basically ready for history. I'm ready to be put in the dustbin of history. I always thought, though, what made me cool is that not for a day in my life did I ever try to be cool. Not once. I didn't think I had that much coolness in me. I had a lot of rhythm. I had a lot of good taste in music. I had a good sense of humor. But Damon, are you cool? I don't think so. I'm probably not really cool. But the fact that I never tried to be cool is what I think makes me cool. So I can tell you right now that there is no element of peer pressure or modern society or communicative behavior that would have gotten me to participate in TikTok dances and internet trends. I was a younger man when planking came out. Not only did I not do it, I didn't even think of doing it. The only internet phenomena that I ever even thought of participating in, didn't do it, but thought maybe, was the Harlem Shake. I liked the Harlem Shake. I thought those videos were pretty funny. They could go in a lot of different directions. But I'm not here for your fads. I'm not here to be cool today, out of fashion tomorrow. I'm just very comfortable not participating in the thing that is cool right now, but a few years from now, it won't be. And I'm going to tell you right now, I'd rather not win a national championship than have to win a national championship and do something like this. Let me bring you into the Florida Gators locker room. And this is a TikTok that was released by the official Florida Gators Twitter site handle, whatever. And it's was like the Florida Gators TikTok celebration is fire. Now, I'm not going to play the audio. It's just some mumble rap. But look at this. What is this? What is this? Why? What is this? This looks like a parade of virgins who don't know how to get a girl's phone number on a Saturday night. This looks like a whole bunch of dudes who just won a national championship, and even though they got all the pussy you can get out of they got the free pussy card just being handed to them to walk around campus with, I think each and every one of these guys is going to go back to their dorm rooms and play PlayStation. What are you doing? This is not how men act. This is not how men have acted in any generation. What is this? Damon, you're so old. You're such a fuddy. I'll say whatever you want. This is some candy-ass, corny shit. We are all going to gesture like we're throwing up gang signs in Compton, and then we're going to go back to Gainesville, Florida, and study hard. I mean, it's so much posing. It's so much trying to act cool, look cool, be cool, without a lot of actual really cool to be seen. Seriously, this looks like the mating rituals of perpetual virginity. I'm an old man. I'm a cranky old man. But I know how to talk to women, and I knew at no point in time did a dance help me do that in college, so I wouldn't have bothered with it. Like, congratulations, you can hit a 3, you can dunk a basketball. Can you get a phone number? By the way, that's not me making fun of anyone. This is generation can't get laid. It's unbelievable. I had to pull over and laugh. The fact that somebody's still listening in a car makes me feel good. That makes the old man shaking his fist at a cloud very happy. Thank you for listening in your car. We hopefully will get you to wherever you need to go safely. JP from the 510. Yeah, man, I'm just too old for this shit. Just won a championship and you still even can't talk to a woman in it. But like, seriously, like, how many of you guys are 21? I've never been around a group of men ever in my life. Gay men, straight men, no men from my generation did something big, did something that was circumstantial and said, let's film a victory dance. Like, that is just some candy ass shit to me. That's candy ass. That's just, let's dance. Okay. Again, I'm so happy to be 50 years old. I'm so happy to not be part of generation total candy ass pussy. I am so happy that none of my time in high school or college came with a need to feed a beast that will never be well fed, looking for the approval of total strangers from the time you're a young teenager to the time you're a young adult. That is so lame, looking for the online approval of total strangers. Aren't you national champions? Like, isn't there going to be a parade for you when you get home? But you got to have a TikTok dance that is... What the fuck? Oh my God. Shout out to us kids born in the 70s and 80s. We had a blast. Red Jet, we had the last great American life. We had it. And you had to have had it to know what these people have, even though they have more than us. They got so much less than us. You got kids now who literally don't even know their best friends. That's the truth. Don't even know their best friends. Terrible, terrible, terrible. Those Giant City Connect jerseys, TikTok dances. I'm too old for this shit. I'm like Danny Glover in every Lethal Weapon. I need to retire. And having said that, it's time for today's history lesson. Are you ready? You feeling it? You feeling good? Here we go. Only one happy birthday today, but it's a big birthday. Happy birthday to Buddha. Happy birthday, Buddha. I don't know if we've ever wished a deity happy birthday before, but on this day, most practitioners of Buddhism in Japan celebrate the birth of Buddha, who lived in India sometime between the 6th and the 4th century BC and founded Buddhism. And how they got that guy's birth certificate, I do not know. But happy birthday, Buddha. Rub a belly for Buddha. Happy birthday, Buddha. Cheers. Does Buddha deserve a shot? Does Buddha deserve a shot, or is the imbibing of alcohol go against the principles and tenets of Buddhism? Let's skip the shot for the day. No, let's not skip the shot for the day. Why not? What the hell? Happy birthday, Buddha. That'll help me get over City Connect jerseys and a whole bunch of college basketball players at the peak of their physical primes, not knowing even how to work with that. Today in 1820, imagine having a reputation of beauty that you get to go down in history. Today in 1820, the Venus de Milo statue was discovered in the Aegean island of Melos. Imagine that. You're on an island. It's probably been a long time since you've seen a naked woman. And because you're not a member of the 2004-2005 Florida Gators national championship team, you're interested in seeing a naked woman one day. So as you're walking around this island in the Aegean Sea, there she is. And it's not just some, broad that just happens to be a statue. It's the fucking Venus de Milo. It's like finding your dad's stack of Playboys in the attic. That had to have been one of the best discoveries ever. We're just lonely men here on an island. We don't see many naked women. Boom, Venus de Milo, right there. Not bad. Venus de Milo, 1820. We found her. Today in 1974, Hank Aaron hit 715. Hank Henry Aaron, career home run, 715. He broke Babe Ruth's record that had stood since 1935. So that happened today. And then obviously Barry Bonds passing Henry Aaron. It was a thing. Today in 1979, talk about they don't have childhood like that anymore. They don't do shit like that no more. The final episode of All in the Family aired on CBS today in 1979. It was one of the most successful sitcoms to ever air. It was frank. It was satirical. It was pig-headed. It was racist. It was political. It took on so many topics that today there's nobody in America that could probably even handle that show. Certainly the 2025 Florida Gators would all be petrified if they had to sit through a half hour of Archie Bunker without a TikTok dance. So, there's just, they ain't making TV shows like that anymore. They ain't making, consumable art that is dangerous or edgy like that anymore. And the beauty of that show was that at all times, it was not laughing with, it was laughing at Archie Bunker's bigotry and closed-mindedness and pig-headedness. But it added, a little touch of humanity to all that as well. And it was very interesting. It's a very interesting sociological study, that show. I don't know how much of a sociological study it was, but today in 1990, Twin Peaks came out. Remember that show, Twin Peaks? It premiered on ABC tonight in 1990. Today in 1994, Kurt Cobain was found dead, having committed suicide 3 days earlier. However, if you have watched the documentary Soaked in Bleach, you know that Kurt Cobain didn't kill himself. You know that Courtney Love killed Kurt Cobain. If you don't believe me, watch Soaked in Bleach. Soaked in Bleach is one of the better music documentaries I've ever seen. It's about Nirvana, who I didn't even like, and Kurt Cobain, who I didn't even mourn. I was not a Nirvana guy. Nope, I thought they were fine. That's it. They never graduated beyond fine. I liked Soundgarden a whole lot more, and I liked Pearl Jam even more. I appreciated Nirvana more after Unplugged. And then when Cobain really shuffled off and everyone started re-examining what was the music, I've developed an appreciation for Nirvana and Cobain's death that did not exist in Cobain's life. I thought they were all right. He didn't kill himself. Courtney had him killed. Or she did it herself. Watch Soaked in Bleach. By the way, if you are a Nirvana fan, you got to watch Soaked in Bleach. It's pretty damn good. Today in 2005, Olympic Park bomber Eric Rudolph pled guilty. That finally must have gotten Richard Jewell off the hook. Remember all that? They even made a movie about it. Suspected Olympic Park bomber Richard Jewell was considered the prime suspect in the case. He was falsely accused of being the guy who planted the bomb, when really what he was a glorified mall cop who, was a little bit of a Boy Scout. He had a Boy Scout syndrome that was like not the good Boy Scout, but the annoying Boy Scout. There's a good movie about it too. Yeah, but there you go. There's a couple of names from the past. Richard Jewell, Eric Rudolph, 2005 Olympic Park bombing. Finally, what do we got? How about this? Our day in history, we only go back 1 year for this one. 1 year ago today, we had a total eclipse. Not a total eclipse of the heart. Is that Kim Carnes? Thank you. I think it's once upon a time when I was falling in love. Now you know I'm falling apart. Nothing I can do. Total eclipse of the heart. Who sings Total Eclipse of the Heart? Hold on. Total Eclipse of the Heart. Bonnie Taylor. Okay, there we go. Bonnie Taylor, Total Eclipse of the Heart. Thank you. Thank you, Internet. The total eclipse with totality. Totality, if you were in the right path of totality, you got a total eclipse. That was a year ago today, and it happened in Bloomington, Indiana. Just happened to be one of the cities in the total eclipse. I had a whole bunch of buddies and went back to Bloomington to see that one day. I asked them, what did it look like? They're like, it was, ever see a ring light? And I got a ring light right here. And like, that's what it looked like. It looked like a ring light. Okay. Thanks for not trying to, make it seem cooler than it really was. Again, don't try to be cool. Namyon Ho Nrankyo. Come on, Barry. Come on, Barry. And Mary, we'll call her Proud Mary today to keep along with the Tina Turner Buddhism theme. Namyon Ho Nrankyo. Hell yeah. Hell yeah. Let's get all Buddha-y. Barry again. We had the best music in the 70s and 80s. Michael Jackson, The Police, Rush, Rick James, Dire Straits, on and on and on and on. We were lucky. And again, you got to live life without having this desire to please total strangers by taking a picture of your firecracker shrimp appetizer at the Applebee's. Oh, I'm going to put this online. Everyone needs to see this appetizer. What the hell are we doing? What world are we living in? Oh, there you go. Barry still got his 3D glasses from the Path of Totality. Yeah, a lot of Memphis was in that Path of Totality there. So there you go. Zothmis says, I'm the coolest dork you know. You are. Here's the thing. We're all, that's why we're here, right? That's why we're here, because we're all damaged goods, yet somehow relate to each other. Byron Lauro, who is this guy? We're all trying to figure that out, Brian. Thank you for being here, though. And go ahead, like, subscribe, and come on back and find out more. Or maybe we scared you away once and for all. Either way, thank you very, very much for stopping on by. Thanks again to Ike's. Thanks to the Dublin and West portal. Thanks to everyone who offered up a super chat today. Thanks to every single one of you who is here day after day after day supporting the channel and watching what we put out. We're having a record month. I can't wait to tell you what it looks like at the end of a 28-day cycle, but the channel has grown at a rate that I never even thought possible in just the last 3 weeks, thanks to the success of a viral video that has just been, unbelievable. We're going to get 10 million views by this weekend as this thing, for goodness sakes. So thanks to all of you for helping this grow. It means an awful lot. It seems to be a beautiful day out here in the Bay Area. Have a great one. We'll be back with Little Warriors Weekly. My buddy Cyrus is going to be joining me. I think we got plans to have my friend Sam Patesh come by and join me on Thursdays as well, which is going to leave it to you and me, I think, just hanging out again on Friday. But getting closer and closer to the NFL draft, to the NBA playoffs, to my trip to Japan. Got a lot of shit coming up. So like, subscribe. Thank you so much. And please do remember that sports don't build character. They reveal it. And like that, he's